for the rest of my life. I was at a crossroads that day. I had a decision to make. Either I took those steps, worked through that pain, or I got stuck in the chair. I want to ask you, how many of you have been at that crossroads in your life? How many of you have had a decision to either go forward, even if there's some pain associated with it, or have chosen to get stuck in the chair? You ready? Yeah. We're going up to the parallel bars. Parallel bars are exactly what they say they are. You know parallel bars. Parallel bars are about 7 feet long. People with mobility issues stand in the middle of the bar with one hand on one bar and the other, if they have one, on the other bar. So I had my left hand on the bar. Bob had my right arm. Took a step. Took another step. It's killing me. Took another step. And finally, we get down to the end. You all right? Yeah. You want to go back? Yeah. The room was deathly quiet. You could have heard a pin drop. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm sweating like a pig. If my arm slips out of his, I'm going to fall. Took another step. He leans over to me and he says, boy, you sure know how to make a guy look good in front of his boss. Another step. And somewhere between that and the end of those parallel bars, the room erupted in cheers and applause and tears. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, including my own. And I felt like I had won the gold medal in the Olympics. I didn't quite make it home in time for Wes's 5th birthday, but I was just a few days late. I walked into my home, totally unassisted, and there on the table was a birthday cake for Wes and a cake for me that said, welcome home. I left my home February 15th, a victim. I walked into my front door July 23rd, a survivor. And a few months later, the kids and Michael and I were out at a pumpkin patch, ready to choose those pumpkins who had bravely given up their lives to become our jack-o'-lanterns. And I heard this voice, Cindy, Cindy, Cindy. And I turned around, and here's one of my ICU nurses, Arliss, coming running up. She throws her arms around me. Oh my goodness, you look wonderful. You look great. Well, I did look great because I hadn't eaten for about 4 months. And I was working out like a beast every day. Great fighting weight. Yeah, not so much. She said, you know what, Cindy? She said, I knew you would make it. That night you came into the ICU, I was so scared for you. But when I walked into the room and was getting you settled in, I could feel your fight. Your will to live was palpable. And I wasn't going to let you die. Not on my watch. And it occurred to me that even in my unconscious state, I recognized that someone was throwing me a lifeline. And on the other end of that line were 3 men, 2 of whom were under 5 years old, and they were pulling me through that darkness and into the light. Now I want to ask you, who's on the other end of your lifeline? What is it that pulls you through your own darkness and into the light? Because I will guarantee you this, no one survives alone. Two years later, that lifeline was thrown again. Only this time, I was the one pulling my husband, Michael, through the darkness and into the light. He received his own death sentence. We were sitting in the oncologist's office, and the doctor looks at Michael and he said, I wish I could tell you better news. You have such a rare form of cancer, adrenal cortical carcinoma, a cancer of the adrenal gland. We don't know how to fix it. We don't even know what's going to work on it. We're going to throw everything in our arsenal at you, Michael. But this is a tough one. You're literally 1 in a million. Michael, little smile starting at the corners of his mouth, looks at me and he goes, You're 1 in 365,000. I'm 1 in a million. Why the heck can't we win the lottery? But I did win the lottery because he lit up my world. He fathered my children. And he was all of that and a bag of chips. The last year of Michael's life was pretty tough. I did a lot of grieving that year for him, even while he was still alive. I did my grieving in the shower because nobody could hear me bawl my eyes out. And the water would wash away those tears, and I'd just watch them swirl down the drain. Boy, was I clean that year. One day I got up, I was getting out of the shower, I put my legs on and I stood up, and unfortunately I had not seated down into my legs far enough, and I fell, and I literally fell into the toilet. But I'm on the floor and I'm kind of hugging the toilet, reminiscent of some days of yore. Michael comes walking in and he says, What happened? I fell. You all right? I think so. Need help up? I don't know, I think I can do it. Are you hurt? No. Then why are you crying? I don't know. He walked back to the room, and I crawled up on the toilet, dusted myself off. I sat there for a minute. I thought, you know, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to pick myself up when I fall. I'm going to be able to pick up my children when they fall. And then I realized, you know, sometimes you just have to sit on the toilet to get out of the mess you're in. Michael left this earth July 4th to the booming, spectacular fireworks. And just as fireworks imprint the night sky and fade away, he too imprinted the sky, our lives. But his imprint was unfading, permanent, and forever on our hearts. We don't know how long we have on this planet. We don't have any idea. We may have 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years from now. No one is guaranteed. I am relatively certain that on the day I was born, the doctor did not proclaim to my mother, Mrs. Charlton, your baby girl is guaranteed for 97 years. And I certainly hope not, because I have no retirement plan. But I will guarantee this. If you get up every morning and you think to yourself, great day, and you find something, no matter how big or how small, to be grateful for, your life will be filled with blessings. So you see, that human spirit, yours, 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 all of ours, armed with gratitude, armed with dreams and desire and determination, and that unwillingness to never, ever say, I give up, is amazingly, amazingly resilient. And it will prevail, even when those odds seem so stacked against us. Thank you.